Okay, let's get started. Thank you guys for coming in. Reminder to please silence your cell phones. Satellite coordinates are SES2, transponder K21A and B. Please wait for me to call on you. We'll bring a microphone to you. Coach, before we take questions, can we get a brief statement from you on the game?
Yeah, anytime you're in the Elite Eight, just that word elite defines the 8 teams. And anytime you lose an overtime heartbreaker, it's very difficult for all the players. But real proud of our guys. We had a difficult second half, but sometimes statistics can be misleading because when you get fouled, it doesn't show up in the shooting percentage. And we were trying to drive it hard, paint touch, because we're not a great shooting team. And not that we should have got the calls, but we didn't. You got to give them credit. We almost came back and won the game. We were a free throw away from winning the game, which would have been amazing. So real proud of our guys. We ran a trap at the end, and it worked for us and didn't get an offensive rebound, and they got a putback. So congratulations to Tom and Michigan State, and a heartfelt loss. These 2 guys, I'm going to miss them greatly. Wayne was throwing up at halftime like no player I've ever seen. He still came back and fought it pretty hard. Nosebleeds, throwing up, and real proud of both guys. But it's a bit of pill to swallow because we all had some big dreams.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes first, and if I could remind you to please direct your questions to a specific student athlete. Right here on the side.
Question for Wayne. Can you just kind of take us through what you're feeling right now?
It's over. I mean, my career is over here now. But I got to look back and say I had a great career. I played with a lot of great players. My 4 years here. I mean, I won a national championship, went to a Final Four. Yeah, there's nothing else I can say.
Anything else for the student athletes? In the back there on the side.
Montrez, a kind of similar question to you. Few people go through something like this, but what are the thoughts and emotions?
It just hurts a lot, We all had, one goal coming into this tournament, and when you lose an overtime game the way you lose it, when you lose one possession away from winning, it's pretty tough, and it just hurts looking around the locker room, seeing the guys down. We've been up so many times at the games, and just having everybody see, that our season is over now. So it just hurts a lot.
And back in the corner.
Both guys, you guys in the second half had a hard time making field goals from the floor. Were you getting shots that you were hoping to get, or did they make any defensive adjustments to make things more tough on you?
Wayne, you want to go first?
I think we got away from what was getting us buckets in the first half. We got away from our offense for a while. Just started going one-on-one, and not going to the offensive glass.
I would have to agree with him. We got away with what we was doing in the first half. We were shooting a great percentage in the first half, running our offense, getting through the end of our plays. And when we started trying to go one-on-one in the second half, it hurt us. And we really started losing guys on our defense. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns, and it cost us to lose the game.
Okay, thank you guys for coming in. We'll let the student athletes go. Questions for Coach Pitino? John?
Rick, this isn't the first time you've lost an elite game in overtime, but 92, you were 39 years old, you guys were building toward a national championship. How does this feel different when you're that close and your team played as hard as it did?
Yeah, sometimes it can be a cruel game. You think about, I was positive we were going to win it when that first free throw went in, because it shouldn't have gone in. And I said, we're going to win this thing, and we set up a trap. And then when he missed it, came in overtime, I was still excited. But the difference in the game, we got away from our ball movement a little bit going one-on-one, but, it's one team could really shoot it and the other team struggle. That's the bottom line, and it's my job right now to go out there and replace these guys with some shooters. That's our number one objective, but it's always tough. It's a bit of pill to swallow because the Final Four is so special. And you see last night, I'm sure Notre Dame feels the same way. They thought they had it. We thought we had it. But the thing that impresses me most, they had total momentum, and we came back and had a chance to win it. That speaks volumes to me of a terrific basketball team with great heart.
a little different subject, but you guys did a great job on Dawson the whole game. And just a basketball gods thing, karma thing, he ends up making the basket that decides the game.
Yeah, you know what we tried to do? They always call Tom as one of the big timeout guys, even if you're playing zone at the end. And what we did was we were trying to take the play away and with the trap, and we didn't react and go get the ball. A couple times we brought the ball down when we got a rebound, and they slapped it out on the offensive end, and then guards didn't rotate there. But give them credit to them. You know, our kids played a winning game, and they played a winning game, and they came away making the shots they had to make.
In the corner in the back here.
Rick, I'll ask you the same question. You guys didn't really have much trouble scoring in the first half. After halftime, just not getting the looks that you were hoping for? Did they make any defensive adjustments? Or?
Well, I told the guys at halftime that the same situation as the last game. Their coach is tearing the paint off the walls, and we've got to stay offensive aggressive. And the first 3 plays of the half, we tried to go one-on-one, and we broke down. Then we got back to it, and we got fouled. Look, our backcourt had a bad night. And anytime you have a bad night, you have to say, credit to the defense. So many times people try to pinpoint a guy's misses. It's just good defense that they were playing. You know, Terry Rozier's gotten to the rim all those times in the past and either gotten fouled or made him. So it was just one of those nights where they weren't going in. So you credit their defense for that.
Right here on the side.
Coach, you mentioned Wayne being sick at halftime. Can you just talk about the effort he gave you coming back out and hitting some big shots?
Yeah, I never seen anything like that at halftime. He was up chucking like I'd not seen a person. And what happened, what we think happened is he uses an inhaler for asthma, and he took too much and it got him sick. But he responded, came back. He had a great night, and he's had a very good season. He had a great night tonight. And he got through it. We had to battle certain issues there, but he got through it.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks for the coverage, guys.
Coach, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? Testing.
That's a good point. very good point.
Okay, before we get started, just a reminder to please silence your cell phones. Please wait for me to call on you. We'll bring a microphone over to you to ask your questions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach, you want to give us a brief statement on today's win before we take questions?
So I'm a football fan. We're not going to Disney, but we are going to Indy, and we're excited about it. It was these guys did a heck of a job after a sluggish first half where I thought Louisville played very well. You know, we just didn't defend as well in that first half. They really got back to who we are, and holding a team like that to 5 of 25 from the field in the second half is remarkable. It got a running game going. Each one of these guys did some things that helped us win the game, and that's why they're our stars, and that's what I appreciate about them. And they're our veterans, and they were on a mission to maybe start their own legacy. You know, there's so many times here where you're following people, and once that streak was broken last year, I think theirs was let's start a new one. So I'm just happy and proud and excited, and incredible amount of Michigan State people here tonight. I want to thank them too.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes first. If I can remind you to please direct your questions to a specific student athlete. Right here on the side in the front.
Question for all three guys. Coach just mentioned the crowd. It seemed like they were largely on your side. How big of an impact did that have, and how much does that spark you guys during the game?
Brandon, you want to start with that one?
I think it was great for us. You know, when I looked in the crowd and I saw that we had, you know, that many fans, I was kind of surprised because, you know, in the Big Ten tournament, we didn't have those many fans. But, you know, just to see them, you know, come out and, you know, support us, it was motivating, and I think they helped us a lot tonight.
Right behind him on the side.
For all three, again, where are you guys in processing this? And can you kind of describe what it feels like? I mean, Travis, I saw a collapse on the floor. This is what this run, what this moment feels like right now to you.
Travis, you want to take that one?
I can't even put it into words. Just all the summers, all the hard work, being so close last year, being like 4 minutes away and not getting it, it makes it worth the while. Can't even put it into words, really.
You know, just you just take a look back and you think about all the hard work you put in the summer, all the hard work in the fall and spring, and all those times where you're waking up in the morning and you're like, I don't feel like doing this, but you have a team full of great guys that in the summer we would all text each other, Indy, Indy, Indy. We would say that in every huddle, and through an up and down season, we stayed together, stayed strong, and believed in ourselves. And, we had upperclassmen step up and make plays, and now we're in Indy.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Right here in front.
Hey, Brandon, tell me about that. The Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Brandon, the tip in and the late going to the glass as hard as you did. Can you tell me about what you saw on that play? And I think at one point you were told one more rebound and we win during regulation. How driven were you for that one to cinch it?
Well, when I got the ball, I think Denzel threw it to me in the middle, and I turned and faced, and I realized how open Brent was. He was making shots all game, and I was kind of shocked that he was just they left him wide open. But I saw him in the corner, I threw it to him, and the shot looked good. But when it came off, just being in the right place, at the right time, the ball came to me, and I went up and I fell. I was falling down at the same time. So the end of regulation, coach said, hey, that you should have had that rebound. I had 11 rebounds tonight, but coach is always saying I should have had 20. So it was great. Just to get that offensive rebound was great for this team and for myself. So it feels good.
Right here in the aisle.
Mike Griffiths from MLive. Brandon, some talk before the game. Harold was talking about you not matching his energy level. Obviously, you weren't named the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Year. You've had some motivation in the postseason. Can you just talk about how that's driven you and led to some of these performances?
It's driven me a lot, throughout my career. During the season, we had an up and down season, but coach, he's always on me. My coach, other coaches, the players, my teammates, they always on me. So, throughout my career, Coach G, before the game, he told me, don't pay attention to, what everyone else is saying. He said, just go out, just have faith and believe. And, today I just told myself, hey, just don't think about anything. Just go out, just play hard. And, we're in a great position now.
Question right here in the front corner.
Thanks. Joe Rexrow, Detroit Free Press. For Travis, I apologize if you've been asked this, but first of all, how did you follow the game last night? You were talking about trying to get someone to FaceTime or something like that. How did that work out? And what was the emotion for you there when you got with your family after the game?
I was mad because they didn't have it online so I could watch. So I had to settle for play-by-play text. And if anybody's ever had to do that, it is stressful because, especially in a close game. But they ended up pulling out the win. I was so happy for them. I FaceTimed them right after the game. To be honest with you, this has been a great weekend. I just got to thank God for not only us winning and going to the Final Four, but them winning the state championship. So this has probably been the best weekend of my life.
Right here on the side.
Travis, the Marvin Clark misses those 2 free throws, and you kind of grabbed him in the chest and said something. You tell me what you said to him right there and what you were thinking.
I told him we wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for you. We wouldn't even be in this situation. And I was just talking about during this game, but if you look back the last couple weeks, Marvin's kind of been a spark for us. But I told him, listen, dude, you're going to get another rebound. You're going to get another chance of this, and we're not going to lose because of this. So don't worry about it. Just get a stop on defense, and we'll be fine.
Right here in the middle.
Travis, John Worrell with the AP. Congratulations. You said last night was stressful following it by text. How much, was this not stressful today?
I think it's more stressful when you don't have any control over it. At least with this, I feel like I have some sort of control. But just sitting back, and plus you want your family to do better. Honestly, I'm more happy for them, my brother and my dad, and them right now than I am for myself. I think it's just how my parents raised us that we should care for each other more than ourselves. So I'm happy for them.
Right here in the middle.
Hi, I'm Jessica. This is for any of the 3 players. But do you guys feel like an underdog team since you are the lowest seed in the Final Four?
Denzel, do you want to start?
That's a trick question because, we kind of are the underdog, but, we believe that we can be here. We deserve it, and, we played great teams on our way to the Final Four. So you can kind of say yes and kind of say no.
Question over here.
Yes, for Travis, with everything that you've gone through in the last 4 years, physically and emotionally, was that a big reason for the emotional release that we saw from you? You're not a very emotional guy.
Yeah, I was actually trying to hold it in because Tom said he called it out the night before. I didn't want to, but if I look back at all I've been through the last 4 years, and not only myself, but my family and our team, we've been through a lot this year. So it was kind of a combination of all those, and I'm really just thankful. Yeah, Tom told me yesterday and today this morning, he said, you're going to cry after the game. I'm like, no, I'm not, Tom. But
that was my first time ever seeing Travis cry since I've known him. First time ever.
I try and stay even keel. But, yeah, I'm mad that I did cry now.
Right here in the corner in front.
Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Denzel, can you talk about Travis and the defense he played on Rozier for 44 minutes today and how difficult that was and the effort Travis put in?
Yeah, Rozier is a heck of a player, and he has a lot of moves, and Travis was like 5, and Travis was still there, and Travis was determined to make it to a Final Four, and once you're determined, you can almost do anything, and he was determined, so he was always right there, right in front of him, and Blackshear got hot too, so he was kind of on the island basically because we couldn't help off Blackshear, so he was on the island and he played great defense, and he led us.
Right here on the side.
Hi, Audrey Dahlgren, WLNS. This is for Travis. You had talked about getting to the Final Four all season and how important it would be for you to be in this moment. To have that net around your neck, how do you best describe this feeling?
I can't put it into words. Just everything we've been through, just this season alone. The ups and the downs, the people doubting us, kind of people that were in our corner leaving it. There came a point in the year where it was just us, just the people in our locker room and our program. And I'm just more happy for us as a whole. But we stuck together. We could have quit. We could have rolled over and died, but we didn't. We just kept fighting.
One right here in the middle.
Hi, question for Travis. Can you walk us through what was going through your mind? You know, those free throws, 5 seconds left, first one goes in. Coach Pitino said he felt like Louisville was going to win the game at that point, just the way it bounced in and out. And then the sequence where you threw up the half-court shot to try and win the game.
Well, that first free throw he shot, hit the rim, bounced up, rolled around a little bit, then goes in. You're like, this can't be happening right now. But we said it. Zell said it. He's going to miss the second one. He's going to miss one of them, and we're going to be fine. My thing at half court, I could have got a better shot. Now that I think about it, there was more time. I could have probably taken 2 more dribbles. But I'm just happy that it worked out for us.
Question right here on the side.
Trav, Tom texted you after last year's loss and said that those tears were going to become tears of joy, and you thought he was crazy. How do you feel now?
Man, I don't even know what to say. It's looking back, I know this is going to sound crazy, but looking back, I'm kind of happy that we did lose last year because it makes us feel so much better to be on the other side of it. And it's been motivation. I think it's made, especially us 3 up here, a lot better. It's added extra motivation for us in the summer, in the fall. Even in practice, we push harder now than we ever have. And I feel like it's brought us, not only us 3 closer, but our whole program together. Losing last year the way we did, especially with the expectation, it's just added to this year. It just makes it so much better.
One more here.
Can you talk a little bit about Tom and his role with this group, especially coming as a freshman?
Yeah, Tom, for me, Tom's one of those guys where he does so much for our team that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. Whether like tonight, I mean, he helps break the press, gets other guys involved. Tom's also that energy guy. I mean, there's times after practice where guys are kind of tired, or even before practice when we're tired heading into it, and Tom's there with all the energy and boosts everybody up. I mean, he's the life of the locker room, really, him and Denzel. So, I mean, Tom does a lot of things for us that people really don't see, and he really doesn't get the recognition he deserves for it.
All right, one more for the student athletes right here in the aisle.
For Denzel, your role seems to change every game in various aspects. What was your job today? Because it looked like everywhere from maybe point guard to power forward at different times.
My role is tricky because it's not really one thing coach can say to do, because I got to do a lot of things. My main thing is just do whatever it takes to win, whether that's get a big rebound, bring the ball up the court, make shots, make passes. Whatever it takes to win, that's what I want to do. And I started off, I had a bad start, and the team kind of followed. And I got mad because I got in foul trouble in the second half. I put it in my mind that I wasn't going to let us lose. And, Travis and Bryn and BJ all stepped up big time and made big plays down the stretch. And, I think that's why we deserve to be in the Final Four.
Guys, congratulations. Thank you very much. We'll let you go. Okay, questions for Coach Izzo. We'll start again right here in the middle.
I'll just follow up on that Denzel. Mike Griffiths from MLive. I'll just follow up on the Denzel thing. Coach, you've asked him over the last 3 years to do a number of things. Can you just talk about Valentine's versatility, what it means to this team?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We played him at 4 positions today because I did play him at some 4. And the 1, 2, and the 3, and certain guys were out. I put him at the point. Actually, I had him at the point where he threw that lob to BJ, but he got in foul trouble right before that, and so Trav did a nice job on that play. And I just think Denzel, we're asking him to do a lot because he's always got to guard the best perimeter guy. He's got to play the point. He's got to be a rebounder. He got 7 of those tonight. He's got to do a lot of things, and he's capable of it. And he's our emotional leader, and sometimes that makes him crazy. I thought early in the game he was just like he was so wound up that he took that one shot, I don't know where that one come from, but you know, I could just tell he was just so jacked. And I think if you got one thing that I got out of these guys today, and I'm with them every day, but I think the burning desire to be in this Final Four and to realize that they didn't want to be a group that didn't make it. I got a feeling it was more the battle cry all year long. And I negated that halfway through the year to a certain extent and started talking about taking it one game at a time. But you can just tell listening to them that it meant the world to them to get here. And they worked for it, they earned it, and we're going.
On the side first.
Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal. Tom, when you guys lost to Wisconsin, one of the things you talked about that hurt is that would have given them something tangible, a banner, something that they had earned, and obviously a smaller step. At that point, did this seem realistic then? Because that one hurt so bad, the idea that this banner could actually happen.
It's a bigger banner. Okay, I don't know if it will be in size, but it will be in meaning. You know, I didn't know right then. I said I thought after we beat Illinois there in Northwestern, I just saw this team getting a little tougher, and I started really picturing them. You know, we had played pretty good in some games. You know, we lose to Maryland when we had that 2-point lead or 3-point lead with 2 seconds left, and everybody thought Maryland was an average team, and then all of a sudden Maryland's a top 10 team. We lose to Notre Dame when we had that lead and some free throws, and all of a sudden they're a top 10 team. We lose to Kansas, all of a sudden they are. So, you know, yeah, we lost some games. We lost them mostly at the free throw line, but we were in them. And I did believe in that. Now, I can't sit here. I'd like to tell you that I thought 5 different times this year that we were good enough to get to a Final Four, but I'd be lying to you. I can't even say I did. I just wasn't sure we had enough size, enough talent in certain areas. And then Trav came along and started playing. You know, we got beat by a team last year with Shabazz Napier, who I thought took the whole team and put him on his back personally. And I know people always talk about you need good guard play, and our guards are playing better, but he's been electric and done so much. And so the answer is no, I wasn't really planning on working this late, but God, I love to work at this time of year. I just love to work at this time of year.
Right in the middle here.
Yeah, John Worrell with the AP. Just how the defense clamped down on them. I think they hit 6 baskets through the second half and overtime. Just, it's been a trademark of how you guys play and how special and how impressive that was.
You know, and I thought, honestly, this would be one of our worst defensive teams when the year started. I knew we were better offensively. I thought it was one of the worst. Not only did they only hit 6, but I think 3 of those weren't just pickups for layups, you know. So they might have earned 2 or 3 baskets on our half-court defense, and that's incredible against a good team. And let's not downplay it. I mean, they are a good team and a hard team to prepare for in one day. I didn't feel I did as good a job because usually we're working on the offense that the team runs, and you're in a little room and you can go through a walk-through room and you can get it done, but it was their defense that we needed to work on our offense. You know, we don't play against many zones, and there was no place to do that. So it was a more difficult prep than maybe any we've had in the last 3 weeks. So I'm just proud of what they did. I'm proud that our defense did rear its head, because that was the battle cry at halftime. We have to defend better. That way we can get our running game going more. We did get that. They went hand in hand, and some guys made some big plays. And, you know, you look at it, and some will say, well, Louisville missed that free throw. And I don't know what our record would be if I said that about some of the things we did. And I still think we earned the win in regulation, but they earned to come back too. But we weren't lucky. I'm not sure they were unlucky. It was just a hell of a basketball game.
Right next to him on the side.
Coach, can you talk about the job Bryn Forbes did for you, especially hitting that 3 to start overtime?
You know, Bryn's getting better. He's getting better. He's getting a little better defensively, but him and Zell have that connection between each other. You know, I think the proudest guy in the building might have been Trav's dad, but I think it was Zell's dad. You know, he not only had him, but he had Bryn, and they won 2 state championships, and I think there was a connection, and they found each other. You know, BJ was right. BJ made an incredible play. We talked about rescreening that thing and getting the ball in the middle. We didn't do a very good job most of the day, but we did do a great job at that point, and BJ took a dribble, everybody came, he kicked it. I mean, that's a shot Bryn hits a high percentage. Not only did he miss it, but BJ was there for the rebound. But that's the faith we had in Bryn. We kind of set it up knowing that he'd have a great shot in the corner.
Right here in the aisle.
Mike Griffiths from MLive. Coach, you said at the start of the year Marvin Clark was a guy you would have liked to have redshirted. Today he had come in off the bench. He scored a bucket in the paint and played the post for you really the last 7 minutes. Can you talk about Clark and his voyage this year?
It's been a voyage. It's through some rough seas, and yet he, you know, we had enough faith in him to put him in there, even though he's not as big. And it hurt us a little bit. They got a couple of big offensive rebounds late, but it wasn't through lack of effort. It was just through lack of size. And but I thought in general he did a lot, you know. And I think at the end when I asked him how he missed those 2 free throws, he acted like you didn't need him there. He's saving them for next week, so maybe that's okay.
Way in the back.
Ryan Grangood, Spartan Sports Network. Coach, Gavin Schilling for 3 straight games now has managed to stay out of foul trouble early in the game. He's also put some points on the board. He was 4 for 4 from the line today, including a 1-and-1 that he made. How critical has his performance been the last 3-4 games for you?
Really critical for the exact reason you said. He stayed out of foul trouble for the most part. He's starting to run the floor a little better. He got the dunk. But him making 4 free throws, you know, I don't want to make it sound crazy, but that might have been one of the best things that happened today. You know, he just has not shot that well from the line, and they look good to me. So I give Mike Garland a lot of credit there, you know, and he's been working with him a lot. And I'll tell you something, you know, somebody out there is making a mistake. My assistants have done a hell of a job, you know, and DJ and Dane, and you know, they're worthy of some looks, and I don't say that because I'm advertising. I say that because I know what they do every day, and I know what this team needed this year, and the work they did to get them where they're at is incredible. So big for Gavin, big for my staff.
We'll go way in the back.
Hi, David Walsh from ESPN. First half, you're down by 8 points. There were some intense exchanges on the bench. What changed at halftime to go out in the second half and turn things around?
We gave up 40 points the first half, you know. And of those 40 points, they hit 3 threes with nobody guarding them. And they hit 24 6 points on either layups or drives to the basket, you know. We were playing Ole defense, and they made some good plays, and then they made 3 free throws. So other than the 3 threes, you know, they were just layups and post moves. And you know, we had gone over some things, and we did not do a good job, and they did a great job. So it was a combination. So those were the adjustments we made at halftime. We got to play harder. And, you know, for the first time, I felt a little nervousness in our team. We weren't moving the ball very good. We had like 6 assists. They were shooting 53 or 4%. They were shooting 60 from the 3. I mean, that doesn't happen to us very often. And we just said, hey, do we forget who we are and how we got here? And how are we going to run if we don't ever stop anybody? And I think to their credit, even with Denzel on the bench there, we checked better, we rebounded better, we ran better, we scored better. And I love them for it. You know, it's this team, they can take the half times. You only get what you deserve. Remember that. You know, if you're doing everything good, everything's good. If you're not, job's there to hold guys accountable.
You have a question here in the middle?
Mark Herman from Newsday in New York. Do you remember that text that you sent to the Travis after last year about turning things on?
He didn't say Tom. He said Tom. It was Tom. Tom was, where was he? Was he in the Bahamas? No, he was in his high school. It's kind of, that's the first time I heard about it. BJ was just telling me, and that's pretty cool. You know, because this team had a battle cry all summer of getting the Indy. And I ended that about them, and end of January, beginning of February. I said, that's over. You know, we're not talking about Indy. We're not worthy of it. We haven't played well enough. We haven't played hard enough, you know. And so I used it the other way, and never was brought up again. And in that locker room, we got to huddle up, say where we're going, and there was symbolism to that statement, and it was pretty cool the way the guys felt about it. Pretty cool.
Right here on the side.
Dan Tortora, Tom, you talked about going into this game that the players have to play the game, but we're obviously used to seeing you in this type of situation and the longevity. Just what you can say about yourself and your staff and how you've been able to coach teams to get to this point better than many.
Well, I said I've had a couple of staff members at Mike and DJ that have been here, though. You know, Mike's been here almost the whole time other than a couple of years. DJ's been here for 11, 12 years now, and Dane now has got 4 years in, and those guys have brought him along well, but he was a head coach. DJ's going to be. They do a good job. You know, they support me. They're loyal, and they work. I mean, each one of them have a scouting, and this weekend each one of them had one to do, and they argue over who they think's going to win that first game, but they work diligently with our video guy, and we had everything down. We really could have used another day. I mean, I am really impressed with Rick and his team, because it's not like that's the same team for him. You know, he's brought a different team in too, and they went through a few distractions themselves. And you know, you talk about a guy that's gotten it done at different places. He did a hell of a job, and I mean, I hope it was as entertaining a game as it seemed from my bench. I mean, I'm sure I would look at it not as entertaining if we lost, but I think it was a heck of a game where two teams gave everything they got. And sometimes it wasn't pretty, but they did, and I think that's a tribute to Rick Pitino and the job he's done, and I think my assistants have done an unbelievable job, and I say that, again, without humility. I say it with honesty, and so I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I got players that care and loyal to me. I got former players that are, and I got a hell of a staff.
Right here in the aisle.
Mike Griffith from MLive. Coach, you've talked about an improbable run. Can you put into perspective where this Final Four ranks, and also probably won't get to talk to you by the time the Gonzaga-Duke game finished, if you could just say a word or two about those two teams?
Well, where did this one go? I don't know. You know, if I said it was the best one ever, I'll have Mateen Collin threatening me tonight. If I say that it was one of the surprise teams, I'll have Kalen and them calling me. If I say it was one of my favorite, Dede will be mad at me for no longer than life. And Ellen Anderson just texted me last night, and he was part of the 05 that I think if he wouldn't have got hurt, we had a chance to win it that year. But they were all kind of, you know, different in a lot of ways. But I think this was the most improbable. Because the team had lost some games and we'd gone through some things, but unlike 010 where maybe the route to the Final Four was a little easier because some teams got upset. I mean, you can say the 1 seed did, but we played, what did we play? The 2, the 3, the 4. Georgia, to me, Georgia was a very good team, just as worthy as those other 3 I just mentioned. So we got here the hard way. You know, we earned our way here. I'm not going to apologize for that any way, shape, or form. And as far as the, you know, I have no idea who's going to win that game. I have great respect for both. If Duke wins it, you know, Mike and I have had a lot of battles. He'd really enjoy it because he's won, I think, 9 of them, and I think I've won 1. So that's tough. And if it's Gonzaga, you know, Judd Heathcote's in for a hell of a week. So either way, I think there's problems for me, but I'm just glad we're going and see what we can do.
Right here in front.
Hey, Tom, Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. You mentioned about what you wanted to get on offense when Dawson had the putback, but in the 2 possessions previous to that, Louisville played man-to-man, I think, and you called timeout. And did you set up a play? Was that play for either defense, or did you have to go with 2 and the execution to result in that play?
You sound like my point guard, Travis Trice. He kept saying they're in man. What they do is they start out in man, and then the minute you cut, they switch into it. And so we talked about rescreening that thing. We thought there were some openings we had. Zell got to the hole that one time and missed it. So we felt we did some better things the last 10 minutes of the game, but before that, I thought they had us kind of, we weren't real sharp against it, and I think it was a lot them and our lack of prep time on something like that kind of defense. One day, one short day, real short day, is asking a lot of your team, because Rick does such a great job with that thing, and as I said, just happy where we're at. Yeah, we put Brandon back, and we tried to pick with somebody else, and then we rotated Brandon up. So, yeah, we made a couple adjustments, but Dwayne Stevens actually came up with one of them, and it helped. And then we wanted to rescreen it a little bit more, but hard to tell guys when the place is going crazy and we're doing things that we haven't done before, because we've hardly played against any zone, and especially that kind of zone.
We'll take one more for Coach right here in the middle.
Justin Height from Scout. Coach, Harrell had a big first half. Was there an emphasis to be more physical with him in the second half, or what did you guys change against him specifically?
Well, really, we just wanted to put a hand up when he turned on a 10-foot shot and just shot in our face. We thought that was, I didn't think it was asking too much to tell my guy to raise his hand, you know, and as crazy as that sounds, that's what we did. And then we tried to double down a little more too, because he's a load, good player. And we knocked some balls loose, and that was good. But it seemed like every time we got a 7 or 6 or 8 point lead, whatever our biggest was, boy, they came down and 3-point play and a layup, hit a big three. I mean, it was a dog-eat-dog day, boy, and I think both teams spent themselves, and just can't believe where we're going. I'm going to feel that way till the plane lands, and then it'll be fun to go to work and see if we can keep this magical journey going.
Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate it.